rich history of using steel, and he pledged to safeguard steelworkers' jobs. And we can talk about that now with Drew Greenblatt, president of Marlin Steel in Maryland. Drew, it's very good to see you again. Great to have you back on the program. I want to ask you, first of all, what you made of the vice president's message, talking about a renaissance in manufacturing.
We completely agree with his enthusiasm for USA manufacturing. We're about to see a massive reindustrialization of American manufacturing. We'll be self-sufficient. We're not going to be counting on countries that are adversarial, that might shut down our pharmaceuticals, might shut down our steel production. 80% of silicon chips are made in Taiwan. We need to make things in America, create middle-class jobs so we're more self-sufficient and we're more secure.
I know that you've supported these tariffs as a boon for your business. At the same time, we saw the information this week that GDP, the economy, shrank. There's a lot of uncertainty on the markets, and we've heard from many business leaders that businesses are holding back on investments because of all of this uncertainty. Is that having an impact on your business?
Actually, it's the opposite. If you parse the data, what really happened was the private economy, private investment surged in the first quarter, enormous wins. But what happened was the government sector got a little smaller. This is because of DOGE, of course. So if you dive into the data, Americans are investing a tremendous amount into factories, into their companies right now. And this is a sign of optimism, because when you buy a big piece of equipment, the next thing you do is you hire people to run those pieces of equipment. So this is a very positive leading indicator of all the things that we've been talking about. You could see it with the steel, the availability of steel. When the president was inaugurated, steel mills were shipping in 2 weeks. Now they're shipping in 12 weeks. There's a lot of enthusiasm.
Drew, can I ask you, you say there's enthusiasm and optimism. That's not reflected in what we have heard or seen in consumer sentiment, and it's not reflected in what we've heard from businesses. So you think that's going to turn around?
I think cash speaks more than what people tell pollsters. Cash surged in the first quarter. Private investment, investing in capital expenditures skyrocketed in the first quarter. This is a phenomenally good leading indicator. What people tell pollsters is a lot of times shaded by their political views, but people are still buying. People are still going to the market. People are still leaning in. In Baltimore, we bought a $250,000 3D bender from a Chicago factory. Separately, we bought a $250,000 worth of straighten and cut machines for our Indiana factory. We're very optimistic. American manufacturing is optimistic. We're hiring people and buying equipment. The headline news is a little bit clouded by what's happening with Washington getting a tiny bit smaller.
All right, Drew Greenblatt, president of Marlin Industries, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you again on BBC News.